NewGenGamers.com.
Hop into the game.
Here, you see these, I guess, the splash screen.
Yeah, I mean you'll get loading times on Dreamcast, not nearly as bad as PlayStation 1 from what I've noticed.
Okay, we see it can support up to 4 controllers, and we'll explain that in just a moment. But we're gonna go ahead and support.
And 2 memory card ports per controller.
Yes.
So you could have a total of 16 VMUs hooked up to your SEGA Dreamcast.
Yeah, that's kind of
excessive.
Yes.
But hey, there were a lot of good games for it. Some games took up your whole freaking memory card.
Alright, here we see Adventure, Trial, Options, and Internet.
Internet is the online component built into Sonic Adventure. Obviously, since we're in 2017, not 1999, we're not going to be able to utilize that.
But Sonic was one of the most innovative games at the time because it offered
downloadable content. It's one of the first. Well, the Dreamcast was the first console to release with a built-in modem, so games could now offer online content like DLC. A couple of the ones that you could download to your VMU were in Japan. One of the first ones that they released was a Christmas one. It was a Christmas themed one. They pop little Christmas trees around Station Square.
Right.
And you go up to them and they play Christmas music. It was kind of neat.
So here we see the select the character thing. You got your Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and then they added in Amy, Big, and E102 Gamma.
Each one had a different play mechanic. Sonic is your traditional running around. Tails, I think, is more flying levels, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. Knuckles, you go and dig for gems. Amy, I believe something is chasing you.
But Big, you find Froggy.
You find Froggy. You go fish in water and find Froggy. And E102 Gamma, you went and shot shit up.
Alright, we see game instruction and cancel. That's pretty,
Yeah, pretty simple. Well, the instruction would be to explain to people how to play in 3D. Because most of all the Sonic games to that point, you just went forward.
Oh, this is also the first game that featured voice acting for the character.
Yes.
The character's mouth would move up and down in time with the voice over.
Yeah. I think the first Sonic game did actually have voice acting.
Yes.
So this is when we met Sonic's voice.
There's one thing in this game that does not follow continuity. They show Dr. Eggman right there, but in the game they call him Robotnik.
Well, that has to do with a lot with Americanization because
it's but it's a little oopsie on second.
Well, yeah, because they didn't completely translate it over.
All right, here we see Sonic,
and I think they use the Eggman mechanic as sort of like Sonic's nickname.
Yeah.
Whereas in Japan they call him Eggman, but in America we call him Dr.
Pretty
Robotnik.
fast, but I don't think we're gonna stay in Mr. Groom's because I don't think there's much to do except explore and get
Well, there's other stages, but we have to
confused.
open them up. Mr. Grooms likes to get people turned around.
That happens a lot in.
So we're at the train station in Station Square. We want to show you off Station Square a little bit here.
Oh, this also game you can switch the camera angles around. That was one of the biggest gripes that people. It was, even though the game was fairly well received.
People griped about the camera because the camera, unlike Mario 64's camera, did not like to obey commands.
It switches back occasionally, but
it's a very defiant camera. There's some points where you run into some issues with it. Oh, talk to Navi.
I don't want to go to the Mystic Ruins. I don't want to find anything. Can't go
Invisible wall.
Yeah, there's an invisible wall there, Lynn.
Oh, there's a beach. As you can see, the water. The water looks nice.
Oh, yeah, the water. Let me get the camera turned around here.
Which isn't. That's pretty good. And this is.
I mean, if you compare this with the Mario game at the time.
Yeah, the water
Even-
physics on the N64 were really kind of.
Yeah, but this is really, really good for, and as you can see the sharp angles, the repeating textures, and the people, surprisingly, looked,
very peopleish.
they weren't really all that blocky. They had hands and ears that stick out, which is really awesome, because, here's Twinkle Park.
We don't have Twinkle Park unlocked, do we?
Yeah.
I should have had a better save file on this. But you can talk to those little screens. They're little information screens, kind of strewn all throughout.
Staff only. Please show ID card. Oh, okay then.
All right then. And as you can see, there's areas where they'll block you off. We can go back and redo the first stage.
Where's that at?
It's on the back of the hotel.
I think we might be able to go to the park.
Try it.
Oops. Okay.
Oh, I think you have to have Amy.
I guess our only choice is to go to Mystic.
Yeah, they make it fairly linear, even though it's supposed to be open world.
Yeah. Open world does not necessarily.
Now, you can generally go back to the old levels.
Does not necessarily mean free play.
Exactly. So,
But the graphics at this time, I mean, yes, they're just 3D with no transparency, but they're actually pretty good graphics.
Yeah. I mean,
they put a lot of detail into the models.
Yes. And this being the first, I guess, 128-bit console.
Actually, if you look at the wood on the floor, that's a lot of detail.
Yeah, they must have used, like, some texture mapping for that.
And there we see that camera angle.
Yeah, going downstairs, the winding staircase down here is kind of...
It's one of the most awkward experiences.
Yes.
Because it's just, you're trying to go... I want to go up... Oops.
He said no. One of the other aspects this game introduced was sort of like a mini-game type deal that you play with the VMUs. You had this KO garden where you had these little guys in eggs.
Let me go get let's show them that, because it might be a little bit confusing.
Okay.
Oops. Is it? Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
I'll just pop my happy butt in. One of the first enemies that you counter on this board is actually Robotnik, so...
Yeah, you have to fight a boss as soon as you come to the Mystic Ruins. We've already fought the boss, and now we're moving on to
Yeah, now we're moving around to just exploring Mystic Ruins.
Now, as you heard, the music changed, and here we are in the KO garden.
Oh, here we go.
Here's an egg.
This is your KO thing. If you stand on this to load it up, it's showing me on my VMU that I have a little thing pop up. That one. And this little, what shows on there is actually what shows on the VMU. And you can play with it, like Ray said, it's a Tamagotchi type thing.
You can go hatch the eggs, too.
Yeah. But...
And, they really expanded upon it, in the re-release for GameCube. Because they didn't have the VMU, so they kind of put everything into the game. Like, after the Dreamcast, demised, there was multiple ports of this game to other systems. Matter of fact, you can download it on the 360 and the PS3 as the Dreamcast collection.
I already see that defiant camera thing.
Yeah.
But, we make it work. Whew. Oops. Jump. Okay, there we go. Actually, there's also this feature where, Sonic, you can freely engage Sonic's hyper run thing, speed drive, whatever you want to call it, whatever floats your boat, you know.
Sometimes the camera gets uncomfortably close to the characters. Now you see it has an autosave feature when you're jumping
We're
around.
gonna be doing something here.
So anytime you change areas in this, it autosaves for
Yeah,
you,
you get
so
different-
so
whatever
you can
station
load back
you're
up
at.
where you're at.
Yeah, it will constantly tell you, hey, you're here, and it's like, okay, thanks, I knew I was there. But this game featured a lot of, you had adventure exploring boards.
Yeah, the hub world was really good for the whole exploring aspect, where mostly once you got to the actual levels were speed stages,
Speed stages, yeah.
or they called them action stages, where Sonic would just go.
Uh-oh. We're drunk here for a minute.
Meh. Alright, well that was a quick look at Sonic Adventure.
Oh, what is it?
What was the tracks?
Gate? Can I go in there? Nope.
You don't have a cart yet.
Alright. Oh, this guy. Can I talk to him? No.
At different angles.
Not talking to him.
You can talkie to him.
Really?
Yeah,
He doesn't
you
seem
have to be
very
in front of
interested
him.
in talking to me. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, there's that one.
But, you know, it's for a launch title, this was amazing.
Yeah.
It was very, no, I wanted to go back there. See, there's another one of those, oh, you accidentally,
That's the wrong button. Oh, Tails Workshop's up there. Up above. Up them stairs.
yeah. But, as you move around, the camera moves around with you.
Go in the workshop.
And I'm gonna fly off the edge
Oh, there we go.
and get smacked in the face with the door.
Smacked in the face with the door. And see, now that's where Tails would have the, what kind of noises was that thing making at me? Yeah, that's where Tails would fly off.
Yeah. Wait a minute, let's try that.
What, are you going to speed off the edge?
Yeah. Oh, what is it?
That's Tails' hanger. Why was it making odd noises at me?
Yeah, I give it a no. This game was not my favorite. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I was more of a
But
fan
it had a lot of
2D
fun
Sonics.
aspects to it.
Yeah, it did have fun aspects, and it was fun. It was really innovative at the time. Alright, folks, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next game.
Alright. Another launch title.
It's another launch title. Oh, no.
You walk into a mall arcade, what's the first game that catches your eye?
I don't know. Usually a hunting game around here.
How about Crazy Taxi?
Crazy Taxi would be fun. It's one of those that had a nice cabinet. Switch the...
Oh, I just...
Ah,
it is presented
sure.
by SEGA.
SEGA!
Sonic Adventure.
おいソニック、本当にやるのか？ああ、俺は冒険が大好きなのさ。